Hello everyone, in this video we are discussing MCQs question that is asking exams. So guys, if you not subscribe my channel yet, so please subscribe my channel and also press the bell icon. So guys, let's start our video. So the first question is, a muscle which flex both hip and the knee joint is. Options: gluteus maximus, biceps femoris, rectus femoris and sartorius. So the answer is sartorius. So the answer is sartorius. As you can see on the diagram, this is sartorius muscle that act on the 2 point. It flex the thigh at the hip joint and weakly abduct and the laterally rotate the thigh and flex the leg at the knee joint as supplied by the femoral nerve. Sartorius muscle that act on the 2 points, so the action of it flexion at the hip joint and the flexion at the knee joint. So the muscles that produce the flexion of the hip and the knee is sartorius. Now the second question is, which of the following structure is likely to get damaged when the semiflex knee is suddenly rotated medially? So the options are anterior cruciate ligament, lateral meniscus, medial meniscus and the posterior cruciate ligament. So the answer is medial meniscus. So the medial meniscus injury that is occur in a football player when there is a force act at the semiflex knee. As you can see on the diagram, this is the meniscus, medial meniscus and the lateral meniscus, and there is a torn meniscus. So the medial meniscus injury occur when the force act at the semiflex knee. Now the third question is, Stradlin-Beck test is positive in following condition except. So option of it: dislocation of the hip, fracture of the neck of the femur, paralysis of the gluteus medius and the paralysis of the gluteus maximus. So firstly we talk about what is Stradlin-Beck test. So the Stradlin-Beck test show if your hip will stay straight when you lift your opposite leg. You may have a gluteus medius injury if your pelvis and the hip drop when lifting your opposite leg. It means when there is an injury occur at the gluteus medius, so when the person that lift a leg, so there is a pelvic drop and the hip drop on the opposite leg. So the answer of it, paralysis of the gluteus maximus. So in case of the paralysis of the gluteus maximus, Stradlin-Beck test is negative. Now the next question is, gyrus occupying speech area is superior frontal, middle frontal, inferior frontal and the superior temporal. So the answer of is inferior frontal. As you can see on the diagram, this is Wernicke area, Broca area, operculum, transverse fissures, primary auditory cortex. So it is present at the inferior frontal level. Next question is, following are all the features of the cerebral region except. First one is dysdiadokinesis, second one is nystagmus, third one is rigidity of the voluntary muscles, fourth one is intention tremor. So the symptom features that is not present in the cerebral region is rigidity of the voluntary muscles. So it is important that the cerebral region that produce the ataxia. Ataxia is an incoordination and in there which leads to the nystagmus, tremor and the dysdiadokinesis, all the features that is present in the cerebral region. Next question is, the nerve having the Edinger-Westphal nucleus as its component is. First one is oculomotor, second one is trochlear, third one is trigeminal and the fourth one is abducent. So the answer of is oculomotor. Edinger-Westphal nucleus, accessory oculomotor nucleus, is the parasympathetic preganglionic nucleus that innervate the iris, sphincter muscles and the ciliary muscles. So it is for the oculomotor nerve. Next question is, pharyngotympanic tube connect the middle ear cavity with oropharynx, nasopharynx, nasal cavity or laryngopharynx. So the answer is nasopharynx. As you can see on the diagram, this is the tube that connect the middle ear to the nasopharynx. Next question is, only abductor of the vocal cord is posterior cricoarytenoid, interarytenoid, lateral cricoarytenoid or cricothyroid. So the answer is posterior cricoarytenoid. So this is the posterior cricoarytenoid. It is a abductor of the vocal cord. It take origin from the posterior surface of the cricoid lamina and inserted into the muscle process of the arytenoid and action of it vocal cord abduction and the nerve RLN. So this is the posterior cricoarytenoid muscle that is a abductor of the vocal cord. Next question is sensory nerve for upper lip is first one is facial, second one is infraorbital, third one is buccals, and fourth one is external nasal. So the answer of is infraorbital. As you can see on the diagram, this is all the area. So head forehead, that is for the supraorbital nerve, and then the mid to the forehead there is a supratrochlear nerve, and at the nose area and the upper lip area there the infraorbital nerve, and in the lower lip area and the jaw area it is the mental nerve. So this is the area, so the upper lip area for the infraorbital nerve. Now the next question is commonest position of the appendix. So first one is retrocecal, subcecal, pelvic, and preilial. So the answer is retrocecal. So the retrocecal, that is position present in 64%, postilial 0.5%, preilial 1%, subcecal 2%, and the pelvic 32%. So this is the MCQ question that is generally asked in examinations. So guys, if you like this video, so please like, share, subscribe my channel. Thank you.